So good evening, everyone, and welcome to this webinar. So we have a couple of people attending, and if you are attending or watching this a little bit later, then welcome. Thank you for taking the time to share with us and to learn from our certified tonight. We're going to have an informal discussion and a little bit of a chat about 6 seconds and what it might mean for you if you are considering going forward in enhancing your emotional intelligence, or you're looking to perhaps personally develop in some way. And we have three unique ladies tonight who are going to share their insights about what they've done and how that is supporting them in their own work as well. So welcome, Sophia, Connie, and Anna Sophia. It's really lovely to have you on tonight to share some time with us. Yeah, thank you so much. And I also put a shout out there to our colleague, Giovanna, our account manager at 6 Seconds here in Europe. She's added her email address to the chat. So if you've just joined, you're welcome to connect with Giovanna as well. But let's get started. And I'd like to ask each of you just to introduce yourselves shortly, and maybe to share whether you're a coach, an educator, an academic, and of course, where you're based, which is also important. So Sophia, would you like to go first?
Okay, thank you. And thank you for hosting this very nice webinar and this sharing of experiences. So I'm an assistant professor at the Portuguese Military Academy in Lisbon. And I've been there for most of my life, 26 years. Yeah. So yes, I also have a group of theater, amateur theater, and I'm an Erasmus coordinator at the Military Academy also. That's it.
Wow, wow, wow. Fantastic. And Connie, please.
Okay, well, my name is Connie, Connie Kelly. I'm from Galway, and I'm a transformational life coach. And I say that simply because through the process of 6 seconds, I've actually been able to transform my profession from career guidance and counseling to transformational life coaching. And I suppose it's being able to have the access and the ability to be able to incorporate the skills in what I'm doing. It allows me now to work with adults as well as students of all ages, may I say, simply because as we have moved into the ability to be able to learn for life and lifelong learning, I think the encouragement has to be out there now to actually broaden our skill base irrespective of our age.
Yeah, 100%. So yeah, thank you, Connie. And Anna Sophia, please. Would you like
Hi, thanks for having me, David. Nice to see you again. It's always good to be on these webinars. Happy to share as well and learn. So my name is Anna Sophia. As you've said, I'm based in Lisbon as well, like Sophia. So we're based in the same city. I work as a coach, consultant, and facilitator, also teach at university. And I teach, or my work is around developing EQ competencies, basically in leaders and their teams. But hopefully next year, branching out into a new area, hoping to take this development to schools and helping teachers and parents develop their EQ skills as well.
Wow, fantastic. So quite a broad range from the three of you. And I know you all personally, of course. So you've attended courses with me as your facilitator or in our network, of course. And we're going to talk a little bit more tonight about those courses and your experiences. So really great to hear already the differences with which you are using EQ in your professional life. And that's really what I wanted to bring you together tonight to explore, and how we can help others who are thinking about 6 seconds certification. You are certified, you're active in our network, you're based in different parts of Europe, and really how you're using the skills that you've developed in the context of your professional and or personal lives, perhaps we reflect on as well. So thinking a little bit about your backgrounds in particular, I'd like to ask you, why did you choose 6 seconds? Or maybe there was a short story that you have around how you found 6 seconds. I share myself that I actually found yesterday the business card for my now colleague, Maria Olsen. She gave it to me back in 2016. I attended an EQ conference in Salzburg, and I met Maria. And the very next year, I signed up for EQPC, and it was all a big moment of courses all together. And basically, I showed her the other day, and I said, I've still got your business card. She's now our corporate manager, and her role has changed. So it shows you too that evolution that's happened. So that was my first taste. But what was your first taste, Connie?
Okay, well, my first taste was actually in 2019. I was introduced to unlocking EQ. And I suppose it came to me it arrived to me at a particular time in my own professional transition out of, should we say, second level career guidance and into career management. So it actually delivered for me the language that I needed to actually bring me to another level of understanding in terms of being able to work with adults throughout the course of their life, as opposed to just only working at second level or college level students. So it opened, so the unlocking EQ for me then, it actually reconnected me with the language that I needed, which is actually emotional literacy. It's the underpinning of all forms of communication.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank
and
you,
that's
Anna-Sophia.
Yeah.
Well, like Connie, I was actually came into contact with 6 Seconds in the same year, 2019. I had left my job in management, and I was setting up my own projects, and I had decided that the umbrella of it was going to be emotional intelligence, which was I'm really passionate about. And I decided to see, okay, what's out there, what's going on in the world with emotional intelligence. I had actually already defined for my own project and my company that I would like to work in 3 different areas. My company is called Mind Over Matter, and I called it Business Matters because I mainly work in corporate environments. Education Matters because I already had that passion toward education, and Life Matters because I like doing life coaching and just working with diverse groups. So I already had these 3 different areas, and I was blown away when I looked up emotional intelligence and saw that 6 Seconds had exactly those areas as well. So I thought, okay, here's a company, here's a network of people that think the way I'm thinking, and that would be able to help me structure and provide me the tools I needed for my setup. So it was like a perfect match.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow, that's great to hear, and still a match. That's good.
Yeah.
And Sophia, what about your first touch point with 6 Seconds?
A bit in line with my 2 colleagues, so to speak, but it was only last year, although it seems it's been all my life because of this wonderful network. And I had just finished doing a master's on science on emotions and some other trainings on nonverbal communication and all that. And I keep looking for more knowledge in the area of communication, and especially to facilitate communication with my students and my peers and everything. So I was very happy to know about this unlocking EQ. So I did it May 22, and then went on doing other courses. Yes. But it was quite rewarding. Yes. And as Connie said, it's this kind of emotional vocabulary that you need, and you have it, and somehow you don't know it, and then it comes to you and say, okay, of course, this is it. Yes. So just like that.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's developing that vocabulary. And I'm going to ask you in a moment to share with us your the certifications that you've done. But just before I give you the floor to do that, I just want to share with those of you who are watching that you mentioned the word network, Sophia, and we're not an organization as such. We're a network, a global network of emotional intelligence practitioners. And our noble goal is to have 1 billion people practicing EQ by 2039, as Anna-Sophia, Connie, and Sophia are already doing, to be able to spread and share the message. And it can be a certain touch point in your personal or professional lives as well. So if you're interested in becoming part of the network, it really is a global network. And there's always somebody around and available in 6 Seconds, any time zone, any time of the day or night. I often like to share. We're in APAC, we're in the Middle East and in India, right across here in Europe, of course, and then right across the Americas as well. So you really are joining a global network of people, all passionate, as our ladies are, about building and developing EQ in various ways. And just another point that we're going to learn a little bit more tonight about some of the certification that the ladies have done and what it's meaning to them and meant to them, I should say. We have over 16 certifications, so we're not going to go into all those details tonight, but certainly there's books, products, models you can see here, things that we have to help you with your emotional intelligence as well. So just wanted to share that little moment, giving the ladies a chance just to tell me now, what certifications have you done? You mentioned this Unlocking EQ just before, but maybe Anna-Sophia, you'd like to go first and just share, the different programs that you've done and the certifications that you've done with us.
Okay, well, I also started with Unlocking EQ, and it's really where I recommend everyone starts. As for Sophia and Connie, it was really powerful for me too. It is our first point of connection, and it gives you a very overall idea of what 6 seconds is, what the method is about. So it gives you like this broad perspective from which to work from. And I think after you've done EQ, Unlocking EQ, then you're in a better position to decide maybe which pathway you want to follow and where you want to start with your certification. So definitely, I think it's very important starting point. Mm-hmm. From there, I done the assessor certification. So I'm able to use all the tools that we'll talk about probably. I also done the practitioner course, so I'm a practitioner. I've done the facilitator course as well, the facilitator integration, which was very nice. And it was a very nice link to the Educator 1, 2, and 3, which I just done recently over the past year or so, so that I could carry on with my project in education and social emotional learning. And I think there are quite a few things that bridge from the facilitator in terms of what learning is and how you teach. That is a very nice bridge into Educator 1, 2, 3. So Unlocking EQ, facilitator, assessor, practitioner, and Educator 1, 2, and 3. That's been my course until now, and I'm sure there's more to do.
Yeah. Quite a collection there. Connie, what about you? What have been your certifications?
Okay, well, I suppose I started with Unlocking EQ, as everybody does. And I suppose from that, I went on to the brain styles. So brain styles and brain talents. So the certification in brain profiling. Mm-hmm. And that actually appealed very much to me because it gave me the language, it gave me the mind tools, mm-hmm. and it gave me the tools to be able to assist people to actually look after their minds as well as their emotions. So I suppose from that perspective, I moved on then and completed the EQ coach practitioner, mm-hmm. and also completed the facilitation course of the first part of the facilitator EQ facilitator course.
Mm-hmm. Okay, good.
So those are mine.
Good. So a nice selection, a different selection in a way to Anna-Sophia's. That's good. And Sophia.
And if I could just add, David, please. Actually, I'm happy to actually stay with those 4 for the moment, simply because, again, before I move on to doing anything else, I would actually just like to be able to embody those to the best of my capacity, so that at least then as I progress through the other processes, at least I feel I'll have an excellent foundation.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. And so certainly a strong message to share. You joined us in 2019, it's almost 2024. And so it's a long journey of EQ that we're really on about here.
Well, it can be, I suppose, because it will vary, I have no doubt, from person to person, given the stage of their own professional development. And also, I suppose, what other previous occupations perhaps they've been involved in as well. Mm-hmm. But for me, this is how it has worked out, because I rely very much on my career guidance as well. Yeah. So the two for me actually work extremely well together. Yeah, I'm happy to do that.
Good.
I
Thank you.
I don't use it for HR. I use it for individual career guidance.
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you, Connie. And Sophia, what about your certifications?
I guess I'm just in the beginning of the path because I've done 3 so far. And then I started with unlocking EQ. It was an eye-opener. Yes, we've said it before. And then I went on doing the EQ Assessor Certificate. And it was quite complex in a way because it was so much information. And it was so nice to be doing it, the testing with other people. And to be, one of the things I've learned was to ask questions in a way that you're not misleading or misguiding or the people. You're just showing that there are different ways. There's not only this way that you were so sure about, even I was so sure about that one, that, okay, there are shortcuts and other longer ways. And it was so nice. And to learn about the competencies that we have, and most importantly, the correlations that we never think about.
Yeah.
There was an amazing course, really.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went on doing the Brain Profiler certificate with you, David.
Yes.
It was really nice. And also to learn about our brain styles. Again, it's amazing how much we think we know about ourselves. And then when we see the results, and then we think, really? I'm like this? I thought I was something else.
Yeah.
And then we have the chance to think about it and to change it. And also a bit like Connie, I want to do also this profiler course and everything, but a bit like Connie, I still need to reflect. And also I'm finishing my sabbatical period project, and it had to do international with the emotional intelligence skills for improving communication. So I did it with several military academies, so universities, and now I have to analyze the results. And it was a very intense training, and where I used many of these tools that I gathered from these courses. So it has been really rewarding. That's what I can say.
That's wonderful. Really wonderful to hear. And because we don't always get the chance to have this kind of catch up together. You know, we do in the network, we have our community calls, we have other events for our certified, and we're planning to do more of those next year as well. As the professionals manager of 6 Seconds Europe, I want this to happen every couple of months, not in a public webinar so much, but for us as certified to come together. And welcome too to Anna, Nicola, to Nina, and to Vats that have joined since the start of the webinar too. So just to bring you up to speed, we're here and talking to 3 lovely ladies who are certified in different ways in our network. And it's really lovely to hear how these courses, these certifications that they've taken on, are changing their lives and helping them in professional circumstances as well. I just wanted to share, just to highlight for those who are joining, and this is really not a call where we're going to go too deep into what is the certification, what is the contents of the course. You can look for a lot of that detail online, and also Giovanna, who's in the room, is available. She will be able to answer any questions and is our first point of contact here in Europe. But really at 6 Seconds, we believe in the idea that emotions drive people and people drive performance. Yeah. And we use that through our models that you see here on screen, and through assessments that the ladies have mentioned, through the training of you to enable you to go out into your community to share the message of 6 Seconds, but also the passion, which I believe the 3 of you have, for integrating emotional intelligence into your lives. I'm going to ask you in a moment how that's working for you. But it's also about solutions, being able to have an assessment tool or a model or something that can be your go-to as well. And what the ladies were also alluding to is what we call the core, which means unlocking EQ is the first step. And that is a short course in really unlocking which way do you want to go, as Anna Sophia said. Some people choose to do the brain profile like Connie. Others, like Sophia, might jump into the practitioner course and then the assessor course, or the other way around. It doesn't matter, but we form this core that we have from there. while I've got the slides open, I might as well share. Then one can go on to further paths. And today is not about that so much, but do know that we have this facilitator path that Connie and Anna Sophia were mentioning, the SEL specialist educator path that Anna Sophia is working towards at the moment. There's also a consultant path for those in business, and there's a coach path as well. So if you're looking to become an ICF accredited coach, our coach pathway can take you all the way through as well. But really what I'd like to come back to now with our ladies is to ask you to share a little bit about what has been the biggest change, perhaps, in your professional life from implementing some of the methodologies and tools of 6 seconds. So has anything changed? You mentioned before, Connie, your business and that transformation. So maybe you'd like to go first and just share some thoughts there.
I suppose actually the part that I liked or that appealed to me was the philosophy and the that six-step process. I only remember 4 of them now at the moment, but the 1, 2, 3 pasta, no way is the way. Process is the content, and fish don't talk about water. Those 4 pieces and parts of the philosophy actually spoke volumes to me. And I suppose being able to be in a position to assist people assess decisions that they would have made or perhaps were dissatisfied with, it has allowed me to actually soften in some ways the consequences of people who feel or may have felt that they actually made a bad decision. So it has, again, I suppose the whole process of emotional intelligence has allowed me to expand my own my own ability to converse with people who, you know, feel that they have messed up in some way or messed up their lives in some way. And that, to a certain extent, you know, the philosophy has actually helped to support me in being able to support other people without necessarily feeling I have to beat them over the head with these comments.
Yeah, wonderful.
If that makes sense.
It does. It does. And it sounds like wisdom lives within you.
Thank you.
And it sounds like emotions drive people, which drives you. So those are the last 2 that you were
well, there you go.
about. Yeah.
Thank you very much for your contribution.
Yeah, wonderful. Now that's great, Connie. So what about you, Sophia? How has the courses you've mentioned, the brain profile, the assessor course, our tools and assessments, how have they changed your professional work?
They are changing, actually, because as I said, I've been teaching the same place for 26 years, but I'm trying to change the way I teach and the things I teach. And it became a bit my mantra: emotions drive people, people drive performance. I use it everywhere in my LinkedIn profile. I use it there, 6 seconds, etc. But it's there because it's really true. And because I work mostly on communication and I'm leading several groups, these courses have helped me individually very much into being a better listener, into showing, because I believe very much that all of us possess an emotional toolbox. And we are all part of each other's emotional toolboxes. So I keep trying to use my tools all the time. Like Inspector Gadget, I have the emotional gadgets all the time with me, and I keep using them in all kinds of situations. So if I'm teaching English, I find a way of putting emotions into it. If I'm teaching communication, the same. So all this emotional vocabulary and tools that I've been gaining with 6 seconds, I think I'm using them on a daily basis, and that's made me become stronger. And I think I'm making more people aware of these emotions and how important they are every day. And that's amazing.
Yeah, wow. That's really great. Thank you. Yeah, flying. I love that. I'd love to be in one of your classes, I think. What a breath of emotional fresh air that might sound like as well. So thank you. Anna Sophia, you've also, as you said, taken a few different paths. You have 3 pillars to your business. So how has the certification impacted your professional life?
Well, I think it began with the biggest impact, I think, was first on myself. I think with the change of setting up my own business, I realized that I had been so busy managing that I hadn't for quite a while invested in myself, in my own training and development. And I mean, that's where my passion came from, to move. I studied management, so to move from management into people development was really because I realized the impact that my personal development had on me as a leader, right? So when I finally stopped managing, it was first just a time for myself. And I think the Unlock EQ, the assessment, all those courses, yes, I was getting tools to apply in my business, but I think most of all, I was getting tools for myself, and I was nourishing and enriching myself. And I think that's the biggest impact, because from there, when I do take these tools and all these methods into the classroom or into the companies, I can speak at a very personal level to the transformation that I lived with them. It doesn't mean that it'll impact people all in the same way, but I think it's given me a different way of approaching and a different language as well.
Yeah.
And it's really, I think 6 seconds has given me, yes, it's given me the tools which I was looking for, assessments, very specific tools that help me measure, and people can see results. More than that, it's given me a framework from which to work from, which is really important. So I feel structured in what I have to bring to people. It gives me a community and a network of other professionals to whom I can talk to and share and grow and learn from, which, as the only person in my own business, this is really important for me. And it has been really important because I've made really powerful connections through 6 seconds. So that's really great. And it gives me inspiration and ideas. So, it's like you're not stuck in your own box. You look outside. And today, when I look back and I think, okay, what impact did this have professionally? It makes all the difference. As Sophia was saying, now I see, if I already believed in emotional intelligence, now I see emotional intelligence in everything, in everywhere I go, in every daily activity and interaction. It's about emotional literacy. It's about navigating our emotions. It has an impact in everything, in leadership, in interpersonal connection to others, in the quality of our decisions, in our leadership. So it's really become full circle. Me personally, me as a professional, and emotional intelligence just seems like this one overarching tool that touches everything that people do. So I don't know how I didn't see this before, but now I just don't see anything else. This is it.
Wow, isn't that very powerful? Thank you for sharing that, all three of you. Yeah. And you hear from your stories and background that the impact changes over time, and it can be different for different people as well. So it brings me to that next question. Maybe I'll ask you first, Anna Sophia. You're on a roll. So is there a specific tool? So now I'd like you to think about just if there's one particular tool or model or moment from a course or something that you've done where you think, yeah, that's something that's helped you either personally or in your work professionally, that was a big aha moment for you, perhaps.
Okay, well, I'll mention two things. I think the first impact it was so big that I don't think it'll ever go away, was my first contact with SAY. So the assessment. It is the tool that until now I mostly use, because I work a lot on the one-to-one, whether it's coaching or just mentoring, but I work a lot on one-to-one in order to have an impact on the whole in terms of teams. And I always start from work on yourself and then work outside yourself. So the SAY report is such a powerful tool. Some might say it's too dense or too intense as a starting point. I definitely understand why someone would say that, but on the other hand, it is a starting point from which we can always come back to all the time. So with all my clients, in terms of everyone that has done the same with me, you don't explore all of it in that first debrief, and sometimes months in, 6 months in, or 7 months in, we come back to that report, we use it again, we have a look, and when we do that, we look at it from a different perspective because we've already been working for 6 months. So I still think that it is one of the most powerful tools that I definitely use a lot. I think it's a big way of opening perception, awareness, and it's a great starting point. You don't need to work it all at one time, but yes, it's a great starting point. And then I think more recently, all the tools that you get on the SEL specialist course. So I'm now talking about the Educator 1, 2, and 3. The little tools that you get in there, not only on working on your own emotional intelligence as a teacher, or as a parent, as an educator, but also the tools that you get that you can apply when you're teaching, when you have your students. So simple, but so powerful. So it's not complex tools. Sometimes, as I think Sophia was saying, it's like, oh, I knew this. Yes, you know it, but until it's really structured, it's like it's not intentional. You can start using it in a more intentional way.
Yeah. So it's sort of like a shelf. You've got a tool you can pull off and say, right, I'll use this in this situation for this person.
Yeah, it becomes more top of mind, and especially more intentional, because I think sometimes we do apply some things without fully being present and intentional about it, and we just get more impact from them if you do use them in an intentional way. So I think the social emotional learning process is a really interesting one with very nice tools as well.
Right. Thank you, Anna Sophia. And for those who are still maybe unsure about what we mean, again, we can spend a little bit of time together in a separate call, but certainly we're talking about our main 77 question instrument. It's an assessment. It's in its 4th version now. It's scientifically validated and updated and goes through rigorous testing to maintain its reliability and validity. And it is from which we can generate a number of these different reports as well, whether it's the leadership report that Anna Sophia was mentioning, or some of our brain profiles as well. It's available in a 360 version as well as in a self-assessment version. So that's great. Thanks, Anna Sophia. Connie, what about you? Is there one tool that has been transformational in your coaching business?
Well, yes, I suppose the tool in particular has been the practice of VET, which is validate, explore, and transform. So again, through the process of conversation, many of the clients that I've worked with have been going through a process of career transition. In some cases, they're returning to the workplace after an experience of burnout. So I suppose being able to actually incorporate the use of that tool, it has actually allowed me to be able to, I want to use the word, steer them back onto their original path.
Right.
Because I suppose in some ways I have to allow for the fact that everybody is responsible for themselves at the end of the day. And if we are to believe that wisdom lives within ourselves, then we actually have to apply it as we work with our clients. So I suppose by giving somebody the tool to be able to know how to be able to explore something in a reasonable way, and the language to do it, I think that, to assert that, for me is actually, it's extremely liberating. And it allows me to be able to do what I'm supposed to be doing without necessarily directing somebody. And that's why I really appreciate the VET.
Yeah, great. And that VET we explore as part of our EQ practitioner course. So it's one there that you are then certified to use and to be helpful in your practice. So that's great, Connie. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's very simple. It's very simple. not a great deal of information is required other than what the client actually brings to the session, or
Right.
the coaching session, and really that's it. And they have a tool for life.
Mhm.
Very simple.
That's it. Tools
An
for
instrument.
life. Yes, for your life, for life.
Well, they have a tool for life.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, for their lives. So a play on
And their
words there.
and their livelihoods, because
And their
I suppose,
livelihoods. Absolutely. Yeah, great.
because they certainly they can turn around and use this.
Yeah.
So, you know, and once they have actually understood how to be able to use it for themselves, well, then they just bring it with them. So yeah, it's a no-brainer from my perspective.
Great. Thank you,
I
Connie.
like that one.
Yeah, beautiful. Sophia, what about a tool from you? What's been transformational in your work at the Academy?
So I've learned two things mainly from the SAY, so that assessment that you're talking about with the 77 questions, and from one of the assessments I did with you, the brain profiler. So the brain brief assessment, and those are that you don't control anything and that never take anything for granted. And I keep passing it on to my students, especially because at university age, as they are full of energy, full of everything, full of themselves, thinking they know it all. And then it's wonderful when we tell them some other ways to look at things, and you make people think, and thinking is hurtful, right? Thinking hurts, and it takes a lot of time, and people don't do that much nowadays. So it's good when, besides teaching them what I'm supposed to, I ask them to think. And that's very good, because when I did the assessments, it was kind of painful to realize that I didn't know so much about myself as I would like to think. So it's to reflect about yourself, to go deep down. So the wisdom, as Connie says, is within you, but it's difficult for us to realize that. And sometimes we realize that later in life, and again we think, I wish I should have known that before. So it's our role as part of this community to take this message to people, look inside. And that was the biggest lesson I think I've learned, to look more inside, and that many answers are there. All the answers are there. We just need some guidance. Yes.
Yeah.
Great. I love that, because it also works to where I want to take us next, which is about the network. And we've alluded tonight, Anna Sophia mentioned the community and the things that we can do outside of just certification. So we really are wanting to offer 1 billion people EQ cafes, which we run throughout Europe, which are specifically designed 3 times a year with new and fresh content, ideas, new activities, things that people can use in their daily lives. Or we have other network events. This week we have a global network leader conference for those people who are around the world, led by our education manager, Ilaria Boffa. So there are many different touch points with 6 seconds. And so I want to ask you all to share with us, what do you like about being part of this network? Is there something that you get out of this in particular that you want to share? Sophia, maybe you'd like to go first this time.
Thank you. I think it's really, again, rewarding. I keep using this word, but it's true. It's true. It's rewarding too, because when you do the courses and then you feel engaged from the first moment, because you start receiving emails, but it's not these useless emails. It's people connecting really with you, and making sure that everything is okay and that you're feeling well. And then when you finish the courses, you're part of the community and the network, and you get the newsletter, at least that. And by reading the newsletter and getting involved in it, and clicking on the links, you get more information, and then you can take part in these network cafes, in the webinars, in everything. You can be engaged every day if you have the chance. And it's so wonderful, because everybody I've met so far via 6 seconds, we're all here for the same. okay, maybe this sounds a bit strange and kind of a religious group or something, but no, we're all here for the same, and that's to spread the news about emotional intelligence. And that's why everybody's always so available and willing to help. And that's it. That's what I most enjoy about this community. You're always learning and you're always sharing.
Yeah. I like that. Yeah, we are always learning. All of us are learning, aren't we, as we go along? We're really happy to share. Connie, what about you? What keeps you being part of the network?
I suppose what keeps me part of the network is actually the continuity of connection. And I suppose I'm also a network leader. I haven't actually yet delivered a network cafe. And I suppose to a certain extent, it's something that's going to be on my agenda quite soon. And so the continuity of learning actually and the quality actually of the learning is what appeals to me, because it's just the quality of the content is what actually keeps me here.
Right.
That's all I can say.
Yeah. Well, people all around the world are writing that content regularly. So the new set of cafes will come out shortly, and there will be probably an announcement and the theme. There's usually an overarching theme each year. So, and we do also interact through surveys, as the three of you have probably taken in the last couple of months. So we do want to find out from the network, what are the challenges, the pulse points, the insights that maybe you have within your communities that also then feed up into a global situation. And we look at all of that information and data quite seriously to then suggest the themes that we know are going to help people. So whether it's burnout, like we had a few years ago, or COVID, or this year's been around optimism as well, to share this as a thought for people. So that's great.
I was actually just going to add that in, because the fact that it does have a focus on optimism and how to become more optimistic, and very simple tools that actually facilitate the transition into towards optimism. I think that certainly is a game changer for me.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
And Anna Sophia, what about you? So what do you like about being part of our network?
Well, like Connie, I'm also a network leader as well. I have delivered a few EQ cafes, not as much as I would like, but hopefully we'll get back to do that. Definitely, I think Connie mentioned one side of it, the quality of the certifications, the quality of the content. I mean, just the absurd amount of content that 6 Seconds is able to provide is just incredible. Yes, you have to navigate it and choose and see what is right for you, but there is just so much there. The articles are such high quality. So certainly that the content is very important. I mean, you wouldn't continue to invest in your certifications and continued education if to some extent you didn't value the content. But if you ask me, is it just the content that keeps me with 6 Seconds? Well, I'm not really sure, because although 6 Seconds is great, maybe there's other providers out there that could also have quality content. But the reason I don't even feel sort of the need to really go looking, although I compare and I'm open to other ways to actually integrate and contribute to what 6 Seconds has. I think it's the quality of the connection that we have as people as well. This is really difficult to explain to maybe people that are listening and don't really get it. But I mean, the first 2 trainers that I had, so Ilaria Boffa and Maria Olsen, they are people that I met in 2019 online. So I've never been with them personally, but we chat all the time. We exchange ideas. They're a WhatsApp away on anything that I need. And I think that is really powerful. I mean, it just feels good to be part, to be around people that make you also feel supported and welcome. And I value that a lot as well. So it's not just the content, it's the network of human relation that we're able to get. that goes beyond the trainers. I mean, I've connected to a few people that I met on certifications, that we get together to talk about work and support each other and how can we help each other. And we live in different countries.
Yeah.
So I think it's that. I think it's how global it is, everything it has to offer. And here, just opening parentheses on everything it has to offer, I really, really have to just give a little, I think, publicity to the State of the Heart report.
Yeah.
You know, it's a free report. It's a global report on how we're doing in terms of EQ. And it's got so much interesting information. I mean, just looking at that report opens up so many discussions. And at least in my classrooms, I usually take the report and share not everything, otherwise I wouldn't do anything else in the classroom. But I usually take it to some of my executive training courses at university and share some of the information and analytics that's there. And that just opens up so much discussion and awareness on where we are globally in terms of EQ. So brilliant work really done. And I'm really proud to be part of this network.
Thank you. Well, and that's a nice moment to plug that next month, I, with Ilaria and Maria, will be on a panel together. So I encourage you, Anna Sophia, and Connie and Sophia.
I've signed up.
So that's great. And all of your students at all of your universities can come as well, ask questions, because we do want to focus on, while the global report, the new report is now out, we also want to focus on Europe. And our vision for Ilaria, Maria, and myself, and Giovanna on the call tonight, as well as a whole team based out of Bologna, is to really grow across all the languages that we have here in Europe. English is not an official language. Well, it is in Ireland, of course, but otherwise, you know, English is a second or third language for many. And so we want to build and grow a strong European community. Global, yes, and you're part of that, you've experienced that. But even further in 2024, we say that it's very important to meet, that there should be a Lisbon chapter started by the two of you that grows and grows, and then Connie in Ireland, and then others in Ireland as well. I'm in Vienna, being Australian, but living in Vienna, and I'm growing a small community of people as well that have different touch points, that, as you said, receive this abundant information in whichever way they want to digest it. And the point to make is that, yeah, the State of the Heart, we are seeing some interesting results. So next month, if you're watching, Liana, Nina, Tao, and Vats, you're welcome to join us, as well as anybody else watching this recording afterwards. So just as a way to finish, I would just like to ask the three of you just to share, where can others find you? So maybe you want to plug a quick website, or mention other social media that you regularly use, in case people would like to get in touch and just say hello to you. So Sophia, where can people get in touch?
Well, by email, by WhatsApp, I can leave my contacts here, or LinkedIn.
Let's go with LinkedIn, a little safer,
LinkedIn.
A little more secure.
Yes, yeah, that's true. That's good. But LinkedIn, I'm there with my emotions drive people drive performance. Yes, the motto there.
Good. So look out for that.
I think it's the best way. Yes.
Yep. Super. What about you, Connie?
I'm also available on LinkedIn as well. So that would be, would be the best way to contact me. Okay,
good. Thanks, Connie. And Anna Sophia?
Yeah, I've just left in the chat my email, and also LinkedIn would be my preferred way of getting in touch. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I've chatted with all of you on LinkedIn. So for us, it's also our preferred platform. So Nina, next month, we're having a State of the Heart panel. So if you go to our 6 Seconds Europe LinkedIn company page, you'll be able to check that out as well. Or we can connect on LinkedIn, and I can be happy to share that registration link with you as well. So certainly, otherwise, you can check us out at www.6seconds.org. That's our main website. We have a European section. There's also a lot of content on there that you can start to find out more about the things that we've talked about tonight. So whether they be the certifications that the ladies have mentioned, or the network, even some of the EQ cafes that are on for the rest of the year will also be on our website. We have an events system globally. And if you've been watching here in Europe and you are European, we do encourage you to stay with us and to register for events locally. That way, as you mentioned, Sophia and Anna-Sophia, that we're just a WhatsApp away. So I've got most people's phone numbers in my phone as well. And we are here to support you and to help you grow. So thank you to our three ladies for your time tonight. We really do appreciate that. And let's stay in touch. Let's stay connected. And I'm really looking forward to helping us all in 2024. And thank you tonight for your support of us. Cheers.
Thank you.
Thank you, David.
Bye-bye. Thank you.